Hi, Nilo.
Hello, this is Nilo.
Hi. How are you today? Are you okay?
Yes, I'm very good, thank you.
Okay.
Busy times preparing for the first show, which is actually 1 week from now, next Fridays. Yeah, it's
European
in
team.
Finland, in Helsinki.
Okay. So, with a band like you, I could ask you a million questions, but I'm just gonna stick with the recent ones. Okay?
All right. Okay, of course. I'm ready
Okay.
for anything you wanna
Okay,
ask.
thanks. How is the feedback from your latest album?
It's been very good. Our fans seem to really like the songs and the whole album. It's nice to see that every people find their own favorite songs, and you can see all the songs mentioned there when people are naming their favorite songs. I think it's only a good sign. It's a strong album, and everybody can find their own favorites. And also the reviews we get from the magazines have been really good. I think everything looks very good right now, and our whole Finnish tour is sold out already in advance. So we're just looking forward to playing the live shows and see how the new songs work in a live situation.
So, what was the inspiration of Heart Like a Grave?
Well, for the lyrics, we thought that we would like to use or get inspiration from this old Finnish melancholy. So from those songs, popular Finnish songs that everybody knows, and our parents and grandparents and even older generations have been listening to. Like the Finnish music in general is very sad and sorrowful, and you can find really heartbreaking stories from there. And like we all get that from mother's milk already, that kind of melancholic music, because we hear it everywhere. And we wanted to use that as a sort of inspiration for this album. So you can find some old tales or themes that can be found from these old Finnish songs on this album now.
Like we say here, it's in our DNA when something is very very old. So I think that's what you're trying to say. Am I right?
Yeah, I would say I'm sure in every country there is their own way of saying and saying these things that but it's something really Finnish, and it's hard to here we try to open it up for other people and explain it a bit that what is this Finnish mentality, why we like so sad music. But I'm sure it's a bit hard to understand if you haven't lived in Finland. That what is it all about actually? And like the most popular Christmas song in Finland is this really sad story about this little girl who finds a sparrow in snow, like freezing to death, and then she will realize that it's the soul of her little brother who died last year. So really sad song, but people like to sing that on Christmas. I think that tells something about how melancholic the Finnish people are. But on the same time, we are now many times in a row, we've been picked as the happiest nation in the world. So it's kind of strange that even though we have this tendency for really sad music, but still we seem to be doing okay here. So it's a funny combination.
This album supposed to lead the listener to the stories that you say now and to the culture and everything.
Yeah, I'm sure that when our fans around the world, when they hear the album and read the lyrics, I'm sure they can a little bit understand that what is this Finnish melancholy all about. So, and that's why we wanted the music videos also to be really Finnish, and we shot them in this Koli National Park. So the landscape in Heart Like a Grave music video, it's really the most known landscape in Finland. Everybody in Finland knows right away that it's shot on the top of this Koli hill, and you can see that lake behind there. So really, we wanted to make everything here in this album really finish. All the pictures in the booklet, all the videos, all the lyrics, so they kind of come together and tell the same story. That, yeah, I'm sure that if people in Greece, they've never been to Finland maybe, but by listening to this album, I'm sure they get some kind of idea that what are those strange Finnish people thinking up there in the north.
So, do you always have a concept in your mind when you write an album?
Not always. Of course, Winter's Gate was very much a concept album because there was this old story that I had written before that we used. But before that, with Shadows of the Dying Sand and Wonderful Sorrow, I wouldn't say there is any really a concept. It's just a collection of songs and stories, and of course, all the lyrics, they share the same kind of melancholic feeling. They are sad stories, of course. We do this kind of music which has this very sad atmosphere, but that's what we love, and it makes us feel good. So, but yeah, there's not always a concept. So, but yeah, our second album, it was kind of a concept album. So I would say we have 3 albums that have some sort of concept, and others are more like a collection of tales.
You said about Winter's Gate, and this album was faster, and more brutal, if I may say. Why you didn't keep the same on the new album?
Well, before we start making music, there is no grand plan that what should we do, or that we want to change something or do something different. Of course, Winter's Gate was a special thing, and we decided we want to do a really long song, but that was it. Then we just started making music, and it was the same thing now. We only decided that, okay, let's make a more traditional album with several tracks, not just one track. And everybody just started making music. And this time it became like this, like Heart Like a Grave. And there are many songs that are really like atmospheric, and I would say that have this kind of movie soundtrack vibe, almost like some of the last half. Some of the last songs, they're really long and atmospheric songs, but we just do what feels good, what feels right. All the music comes from the heart. We don't try to please anyone else. We never think that what the record company would want, or what the fans would want, or what is trendy right now. We never think about anything like that. We just do the kind of music that we really, really love ourselves.
That's awesome. So, one more question about Winter's Gate. So, that was a story that you have written some years ago, and I know that you write the music first and then the lyrics, right? When you write the song.
Yeah.
So, have you ever considered to do the opposite? Like, is that what you did with Winter's Gate, and would you do it again sometime?
Yeah, I'm sure. As Winter's Gate was a success. Everything went well. People liked it a lot. So it gave us more confidence to try new things, to really do what we want. So maybe in the future we can do something like that again. Who knows? But with Winter's Gate, there was first a story, and then we started making music that would suit the atmosphere and the mood of the story. And when there was some kind of structure and order in this song, then I made the lyrics, of course based on the story, but of course I had to make the lyrics for the song. And in our case, you first need the music, because when I do the lyrics, I want to know how many syllables and words you can put there. So you need the music first, and then you can do the music. That's how it works for Insomnium.
So let's go back to your new album. Do you have a favorite song in the album, and why is that?
I would say some of the longer ones are my favorite. I like that kind of music, like Pale Morning Star. I think it has a lot of the same atmosphere as Winter's Gate, even though it's only 9 minutes, but it's still the longest one on this album. And for example, the last song, Karelia, an instrumental track, I like that a lot. Also has this kind of really sorrowful, atmospheric feeling in it. But it's hard to say. I think there are 10 very good songs there. And one reason why the album is over 1 hour is that we did not want to leave any of those songs out. We felt that they're all good. We want to have them there. And so far, I think Insomnium fans have been really happy, and I think it was a good choice to make the album which is as long as this one.
I wanted to ask you about the instrumental song, but you've already answered that. So is there a story of My Pale Morning Star or in any other song?
Yeah, there are. Like I said, many of these are based on some old songs or poems. And Pale Morning Star, it's inspired by this Finnish poet, Saima Harmaja. She lived she died in the 1930s. She was pretty young, like, I don't know, 30 or something. Really kind of this kind of suffering poet. And she wrote really dark and melancholy poems, the kind of stuff that really suits Insomnium well. So Pale Morning Star is based on one of his poems, where the person who tells the story is only like his loved one has died, and now he can only see her in his dreams and visit her when he's sleeping. So that is kind of the idea in this song. And there's also another song, The Offering, which is inspired by her poems. And in this case, the narrator in this story is offering himself to death so that his child could be saved. Like, his son is very ill, and the narrator is like offering that I will die so that my kid can survive. That's the story there. And you can find these from almost all the songs on this album. Really, really sad stories and tales.
And these are my favorites too. I mean, the whole album, but these two are making the most emotional, I have to say.
Thank you.
So, how do you feel when you release an album? Is this changing through the years? Because you've done like 8 albums now?
Yeah, it is. Well, of course, in a way you get used to it, because you've done it many times already. You know what will happen. At first you'll do the promo and the interviews, and then the reviews come, and then the shows begin, and then you go on tour again. And so it's kind of a normal thing right now for us. We've been doing it for a long time, but it's still a great feeling when the album comes out, and because always you spend so much time with the songs in the studio and before that you're not sure anymore that is it good or not. You can't see it anymore yourself. You are too close, and you have been with the songs like too much. So when other people hear the album, it's always a great feeling when they are really enthusiastic and they love it, and that's really an exciting feeling. That yes, it was a good album, because at some point always you're not sure that is it good or is it bad, or but now I can say that it seems to be a very good album, and people seem to be really happy with it. So all looks good for us.
So with your experience in music all these years, you still have doubts about your songs?
I'm sure most creative people are like that. If you're an artist or a writer or a musician, or the creative process is the same, that one day you feel like you're the genius and the best in the world, and next day you're like, oh, this is shit, and I'm shit, and this is horrible. It's like ups and downs, but that's the process. And when you've done it long enough, you kind of know that it's coming, and you don't take it too seriously when you feel bad about it. You know that, okay, I will sleep over, and tomorrow it will probably feel different. So I'm sure these doubts, they never go anywhere. And but on the other hand, I think it's a good thing that you are like you're trying to be critical towards your own work, and like makes sure that stuff that comes out in the end is probably good stuff. So of course, yeah, the bar must be set high. So, but there's always doubts for sure.
I understand that. That's pretty normal, and that's what makes an artist like you. So,
yeah, exactly.
So let's go to the videos that you released. So far, it's like they are telling a story. I was going to ask you a question, but I think you would answer the same thing as you did when you said that you're writing an album and what you feel and everything. So is that a story, and what is the message?
In the music videos?
Yes, that you released so far.
Yeah, well, the two videos, of course, they are the same characters, so there is this one story there evolving through two videos, and we shot the videos at the same time, and I don't know who came out with this idea that the story should continue in the second video, but we all agreed it sounds good. Let's do that. So in the first video, in Valediction, there's more of the band playing, and you can only see these characters from the story. It's kind of introducing the setup and the characters. But then in the second video, in Heart Like a Grave, you can actually see what is happening there and what happens in the end, and not so much the band playing. So we wanted to have two videos which are a bit different. And the first song is faster and more of a rock song, and the other one is kind of slow and almost like a ballad sort of song. And but yeah, they tell this one story, of course, about this man living with his old mother, and then there's in the next door there's the neighbor, a woman and a little kid there, and then what will happen? Yeah, people can watch the videos. What will happen in there?
Great. So, do you have a certain way when it comes in writing a song? Does it come naturally, or you just know the recipe to make it so good?
That's so difficult question that you just need a lot of time sitting alone with your guitar or keyboards in front of the computer and just trying to produce good stuff. And there's always the self-doubt, of course. But if you put in the hours, do enough work, then eventually you will have good riffs, good melodies, good parts, and in the end, good songs. But there is no surefire recipe that would guarantee that you can write a great song. Sometimes it's very hard. It can take a long time. and sometimes a song can come out really quickly, but you can't really force it. That's why I think it's a good thing that we take time to write the new album. We really don't tour at the same time when we are composing, because you need that time and freedom, and just be there with your ideas, and you can try new things and build it slowly. And of course, other guys can work faster, and other guys take their time. And I think I'm pretty slow, but I write. That's what I love to do, spend my time with those ideas and evolving them and trying new things. And then slowly but surely, songs will come, but it just takes time.
And that's what I and all of us like about you, is that it seems that you write from the soul. And I don't know, how do you manage that? And how hard is to keep that in the music industry?
Well, thank you very much. And I think that honestly, that is the key why Insomnium is still here, and we are now in this position. Like, we've gained a lot of fans. We can play all over the world. That we have always done this really, like, honestly, and it comes from the soul. And I'm sure that people can sense it. That these guys are really doing what they love, and pouring their hearts and souls into the music. And I think the key is just to do what you love, and that's the only way. Be true to yourself, and like, don't try to think too much that what other people would expect, or that, okay, it's 2019, that what people would like to hear. How should I become successful? How can I make money? Don't think about those things. Like, when you're doing the art, when you're doing the music, just let it come from the heart and soul, and then it can actually touch people if it's true and honest, and it comes from the soul. That's how I feel.
And that is true. That's why I asked you, because many bands don't do that anymore. That's why I asked this about you. So
Yeah.
you really touch everybody with your music. I can hear this from whoever talks about you, and that you get into everybody's soul. How does this make you feel? And when you know that a lot can relate to what you create, and how painful is this for you?
No, I enjoy the process very much. Like, I can spend my time just doing music and writing the lyrics or the stories. That's what I love. And so basically, we do this for ourselves. We do what we want to do, what kind of music we want to hear, and then if it touches other people and you get this feedback, of course it feels great. And we get a lot of these stories that our music helped people get past some difficult point in their lives. We hear these a lot, and of course that's the best kind of compliment you can get, that your music actually has saved people or helped people. And that's, of course, that's amazing what music can do. And so I'm really proud and grateful and happy with all this which has happened.
So what other passions do you have besides music? Do you have anything else that you like to do?
Yeah, writing. That was even before I started making music. So as a very young boy, I wrote stories, and I read a lot of stories, and I wanted to become a writer myself. I still have that dream, but it's been so busy now with music and with Insomnium that at the moment I have very little time to write. But maybe at some point I can get something finished and write maybe a book. But let's see. I should maybe on tours. I should spend all the leisure times and waiting times, I should be just writing a book. So maybe I could finish it one day. But yeah, like music and writing are my two passions. Clearly, those are the things that I want to do. Like if I would be a billionaire and I wouldn't have to do anything for living, I would do music and I would write. Those are the things.
I wish you good luck with that, really.
Thank you.
So I don't want to waste more of your time. So I will ask about Yanni now. He's officially joined the band as a member. We've seen him in live shows, but he wasn't in the band actually. How did this came up?
Well, for some years now, it's been hard for Ville to do the tours because of his work in the York University in England. And so Yanni has been playing with us like about 4 years now. Most of the tours Yanni has been playing. And then last year, was the beginning of the summer last year, we decided that, okay, it's time to we have to decide what we want to do. And we all thought that it's a good idea to ask Yanni to become the third guitarist. Like Ville wants to stay in the band, but he wants to do the music, but he really can't tour. And for everyone else, it would be good that there's some kind of steady lineup that plays the shows. And of course, Yanni was the only candidate we thought about, and we asked him, and he was ready to jump in. So that's why we are in this position now, that we have 3 guitarists and actually 4 guys in the band who are writing music, and I think it works nicely right now.
So it's the first album with Yanni as a member that you made. How good was that in writing this album?
I think Yanni has already a big part on this album, so he's not just some bonus dude in guitar, but he's a really good songwriter as well. And right away he adapted that what is the idea of Insomnium, what kind of music we are gonna make, what kind of melodies and songs Insomnium needs. So the stuff that he's been writing on this album, it sounds just like Insomnium. And I'm sure if people listen to this album without checking that who has done the songs, I'm sure they will not know that which parts or which songs are Yanni's. So in that way, we've been really lucky that also when Markus Vanhala joined the band, it was the same thing. Like right away, he understood what Insomnium is about. So even though our guitarists are changing a bit, but we still sound the same. And that's pretty rare that it can happen like this. But we've already heard it from many places that it's really wonderful and strange that we keep changing the guitarist, but still we sound exactly like Insomnium. So it's all great. And it's easy to work with Yanni. He's a really skilled musician and songwriter. And so I think the situation now in the band is better than in many, many years.
Do you feel that you can offer more when you play live with an extra guitarist?
Well, let's see. We're gonna play some shows with 3 guitars, but that's maybe a rare thing. Like now for the Finnish shows, Ville can come. So next week we have the first shows and we'll play them with 3 guitarists. But then when the European tour starts, I think Ville can't participate. So it's just Markus and Yanni there. But of course, in our songs, there's so much stuff there and so many like guitar parts there that it's very easy to do the 3 guitarist set. You can easily find something different for everyone to play all the time. So we could easily add even a 4th guitarist and still there would be stuff to play for everyone. So I'm sure well, we've now played one festival with 3 guitarists, and it was really good. And people seem to like it. It worked nicely. So I'm sure it will be a little bit new kind of Insomnium with 5 guys on stage, but I'm sure it will be very good and exciting show for everyone.
I'm sure that's true too. So last year you were in Greece, right? What were your impressions about this?
It was really good. We had been waiting for a long time to come to Greece. We knew that we have quite a lot of fans there, and luckily last year it finally came true, and we could play this kind of East European tour where we came all the way down to Greece, and the shows there were really, really good, especially in Athens. And I'm sure we will return there now with every album we're gonna make. So really nice memories from those shows, and we had some time to do the tourist stuff and walk around the cities. And I think it was March or April, and already pretty warm in Greece, of course. And back in Finland, it was still quite cold, so of course it felt great to come to a warmer place. But Greece was really good, and I'm sure we will come there next year or whenever there is this next European tour happening for us.
That was my next question, and you again answered it.
Yeah.
So I assure you that you have a big audience here. They love you. They try to understand, and some can relate in the melancholy. You know, we had rough days too. So this music, makes us stronger. That's why you can relate with us. And you said that you're gonna visit sometime soon, which is great. And is there anything that you want to add and I haven't asked you?
Well, I'm sure we've talked about almost all the biggest details. But yeah, not sure yet when we're coming to Greece, but we really want to come there, and I'm sure it's gonna happen sooner or later. And either as a part of the European tour, or then we just fly there and play just some shows in Greece. That's one option as well. But we all enjoyed it very much. So all our fans can be sure that we will return many times.
We hope that too. So I would like to say a message for the Greek listeners.
Like any message?
Yeah, any message you like, feel free.
Yeah, well, we thank you very much for all the support that we have got from Greece over all these years, even though it took so long time for us to come there. But like I said, we really, really enjoyed it last year when we played there, and we'll come there and play the new songs from Heart Like a Grave album, and so it will happen sooner or later. Wait for us patiently.
So I want to thank you, and we hope to see you sometime soon live in Greece. I wish you all the best in everything, and you have a great day.
Thank you, and you too. Thank you very much for this.
Thank you.
Interview.
Thank you too.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.